Hey, it's Blue Dragon Bud here with Romance of Three Kingdoms 13. Fame and strategy expansion, of course. Now, in this video, I'm going to be doing a quick playthrough. Well, it's Romance of Three Kingdoms, so not exactly a quick playthrough, but a fairly simplistic playthrough where I can show you some of the features, some of the tips. Some basic gameplay and how to get started and how to do some advanced use some advanced features of the game. For this video, I'll probably do Rise of the Little Conqueror here. I usually pick Shu or Liu Bei. So in this case, you can see Cao Cao already has some lands. Yuan Shao starts good. Sun Tzu is going to expand out, and Cao Cao is going to expand out really fast. So sorry about the cold. A little bit of laryngitis, a little bit of cough. Try and pause it so you guys don't hear me cough. Anyways, so I'm outnumbered here. Liu Bei is almost always outnumbered in any scenario you pick. So I'm going to start with 195 here to make it a little bit easier if you pick the later scenarios. As you can see, Liu Bei gets completely outnumbered. These are much harder scenarios if you're going to beat Shu. But still doable. Okay, so Rise of the Little Conqueror. I don't really play with many original officers. For Liu Bei, it's not a bad idea to give him maybe some kids to pop up, or give Guan Yu or Zhang Fei some kids to pop up to play on his team, but I'm not going to do anything like that. So we'll just go. We'll just go straight ahead. Okay. Liu Bei. Now, some of the options here, I'll go over them with you. I usually play on high difficulty. It really doesn't necessarily make the game that much more difficult. Really the big difference is their tactics. High level, they're going to empty out all their troops all the time and keep trying to pound you as much as you can. I think this level is actually one of the easiest levels, because really all you have to do is survive an onslaught. And after you survive an onslaught, you pretty much wipe them out. They're pretty much emptied. They're real easy to clean out after that. Mid-level. Mid-level, I think, is where you get your most balanced gameplay. You really get the smarter enemy. He doesn't always empty himself out, but he can throw some onslaughts, and he doesn't sit and just wait either. So I think mid-level is actually the hardest. I'll go ahead and play mid-level for this expansion. Normal, slow. Expansion, you know, is again, goes back to this. A lot of times when I set it to high level, I'll set the expansion to slow, so that it kind of balances them out, makes them a little bit smarter, makes them wait a little bit more, build up a little bit more before they start bombarding you. Because if you got it fast and high level, they just immediately throw everything they got, clean themselves out, and you can just walk right through them, and it's way too easy that way. I'll put my expansion to normal. I'll put my expansion to normal. Difficulty mid-level. Troop recovery normal. All of these options, or the troop recovery option here, affects both your men and the enemy's men. So whichever one you put it at, it's gonna work for, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's gonna work in your favor and against you. Officer growth, I like all the officers in the game to increase. If you go main character only, then he's the only one that's gonna be able to you know, advance his stats through experience. And of course, nobody gets to. So yes, you know, I mean, why not? I mean, unless you just don't want other good officers that might be your enemies getting better. But I figure they're all going to be on my side eventually, so why not let them get as good as they can get? Growth speed, yeah, fast is good, normal's fine. I probably wouldn't do slow ever, but fast, I'll leave fast. I like my enemies and myself to grow as quickly as possible, really. It's cool seeing people with super high stats, and you know, when you're getting your stats up to like 110 in war, you don't want to be fighting a bunch of 98s. It's no fun. You want to fight other 108s, 109s, 110s even. So, you know, it's cool that way. Merit, you don't want to set merit to grow too fast. You don't want to set merit to grow too fast, or else you're going to be... Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. I find, especially if you're playing officer level, that if you set merit too high, even at normal merit gain, you're pushed forward way too fast. Like your ruler's constantly asking you to take higher positions, probably faster than you're ready to. If you know, if you're really putting in the work. I mean, if you're just screwing off, your leader's not going to promote you, so you're fine that way. But I like normal. I think normal works best. You know, you want to crank it up to abundant to be able to get higher titles faster. You know, more power to you. Lifespan. The historical lifespan will set it to what they say they live to in their bios. Long-lived. I believe it gives you an extra 20 years. No means you never die. So, that's cool. Or you never die of old age. If you put killed in battle on, you can still die in battle. You know, long-lived is a good option, especially for Liu Bei, because a lot of his generals die early. So if you're planning on playing a game that's going to go long, you might want to check this option. I usually put no for killed in battles. You know, I'll put yes if I'm going into a game and I just want it to be gritty and I don't care who dies, I'll put yes. But I generally like all the officers. I like to collect officers, so I don't like them dying. You know, they can get wounded and stuff, but I don't really like officers dying off unless it happens through an event or of old age. But let's go ahead with killed this time. Let them all die. Females, as I said in the previous video, I play generally only for events. I'll do another video where I play with females as officers just to show the child rearing, but I'm not going to do that in this video because it really is the stupidest part of the game to me. it's a total waste of time. I mean, it's kind of fun for novelty aspect 1 or 2 times, but aside from pure novelty, it's so dumb. You can just make your children and do a better job, both creating a challenge for yourself and or creating someone you feel is worthy of your general and his betrothed. Historical events, yes, as often, on any scenario that allows historical events, I play with historical events. I think that's one of the funnest parts of the game, especially seeing as I'm a stoner and I like to smoke during the events. Follow history, always do that with the Force trend, in my opinion. It allows you to predict what people are going to do better. You throw it to fictional, it really tends to make the forces go crazy. They get real expansional and attack everybody, you more than everybody else. Like, you are in the general target if you put it on fictional. Most people are gonna, they'll form coalitions against you, and they'll, even in historical, I play Liu Bei, like I said, but I'm pretty sure no matter who you play, you tend to get more aggression than a computer player gets for some reason, probably to make the game more contentional for you. But, of course you've got diplomacy and everything, alliances, and you can set up coalitions yourself. Disasters, before the expansion, disasters didn't even happen. Disasters in this game are actually a feature of the expansion. So if you don't have the expansion loaded, you won't be able to have this option. You cannot have disasters, which is fine for me. Disasters have been a part of Romance of the Three Kingdoms for as long as I've been playing the title, since the very first installment for PS or for NES. So a lot of people think you have to put them on. A lot of people are like, no, you need disasters. You have to have them. It's just such a part of the game. I really don't like disasters. In this game, they're actually pretty tame, so they're not too bad. I'll leave them on normal a lot, but really, I prefer no disasters. It's nice not having just extra bad stuff happen to you, because a lot of times it happens at the worst times. But like I said, in this game, the disasters aren't too overpowered, so it's not too bad. Edit during game is a feature of the expansion, which is nice. With this, you can actually edit officers and I believe even change affiliation right in the middle of the game. So it's pretty cool. I don't usually leave it on just because I have too much of a tendency to abuse it if it's on, just for my own pleasure. So I usually leave it off. This stuff is all basic stuff. You can mostly just leave this as default unless you have a specific preference. I prefer Control Style 2. It's not really there's not really much of a difference. Just like it says down there, Control 2 allows the cursor to move through units and walls, which makes it easier. Let's see. No, that matters. Autosave, I like to do each season. You autosave too frequently, and it becomes irrelevant because you can't go back. Like, it's just too soon to change anything most of the time. So each season seems to be a nice autosave for me, but no autosave is fun because if you're like me, you'll forget to save it frequently, and then something horrible can happen and you can't go back, and that's always fun because then you got to work your ass out of it. So that's cool. Let's see, facility selection. If you want to be able to control if you're a micromanager like I am, and you want to have all checked for both of these, if you don't, then sometimes the picks are going to default to your AI viceroys and governors. So it's up to you, but I always have those all. The enemy route display is like a GPS path if you put it on display. If you but don't display, you don't get that path. I like it, I think it's kind of cheating. I mean, shouldn't like if you wanted to be realistic, your spies might tell you where an army is, and you can guess where they're heading, but probably not gonna know like a GPS path, but whatever. I like it. Makes makes the game a lot more user-friendly, playable, so I'd keep it on if I were you. I pretty much set everything to manual, restock supply. There's no harm in putting it on auto. You just pass through towns and it automatically adds a little bit of food to your to your army, so you don't run out of supplies if you're running through one of your cities. So that's nice. Tribes again are a feature of the expansion. Without the expansion, you don't get the tribes. Again, that really doesn't bother me. The tribes, I could put no to the tribes very easily. I'll leave them on for the purpose of the video. But yeah, I could do away with the tribes and the tribal attacks, no problem. They can be frustrating in this game, even though they're very easily defeatable. They tend to pop up in places that aren't defended well. Seems the AI kind of finds the places you are not defending well, places you have very few generals around, and pops up the tribes right in that area, and they try to, bum rush one of your cities before you can get an army down there. So sometimes that can be frustrating, but really it's just more irksome than anything else, because they leave right after they take your city, plunder a little bit, and you just send an army right down there, take your city back. No harm, no foul, really. And the last, all this is at your choice. The last thing that is important to me is the language. I always keep it on Chinese to be authentic. I mean, really, I can't understand either one of them, so it really doesn't matter as far as understanding goes. But, Chinese is what they actually spoke, so why not?
一切都为了天下万民。打扰了。
Nah, here we go. It's time to defer to my brilliant strategist, Guan Yu. Not really. He's just telling me that I should appoint some advisors. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and save it. Okay, so this is the main screen here. You see your city. You can zoom out, see the map, and there we go. So let's see what I got. I got Langi and GP right now, and Liu Bei is camping out in my Jiaopei. One of the first objectives to have in the game, well, first with Liu Bei, you got to get yourself stable. You got to build up these two cities. Taking cities, especially in the beginning of the game, getting a good foothold to build gold and supplies is always important in this game. Since the beginning, you need a good few cities. You can't just relax with 2 cities. You're gonna end up losing money and supplies with so few cities. So you have to expand enough and get enough generals to build up the cities all at the same time. So that's one of the primary goals. But in this game, the different goal that you have is also with your friendships. Now, it behooves you to make friends very early, and I'll show you why. Let me go into my house here. Where's my? Yeah, right here. Okay. Now, let's see. Sorry, it's been. There we go. It's been a little while since I played the game. So, yeah, comrades is the place I was trying to get to. And with your comrades, you can add comrades. Anyone who is your friend can be added as long as they are also on the same force as you and of a lower rank than you. So that's what's required to add comrades. And now you can see that I added a comrade. I've got +6 war just popped up from Guan Yu's benefit of his warrior benefit from his class. Each character has a class in Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You can choose which class you're going to play, which role you're going to play. Let's go to that. It's been so Guan Yu's the only one I added. Here's my prestige class right here. Dutiful General is what Liu Bei is, and that's under the Commander class. That gives leadership bonus. And the Civil Servant gives politics bonus, and Advisor gives intelligence bonus, and Military Official gives war bonus. So that's what those are. And the comrades here, it's Guan Yu giving me war bonus there, and you can see I'm also getting a bonus from my leadership effect from Liu Bei's Dutiful General. And I can add Shan Fei. Now you see the amount you get up in each of these. It's a set amount based on the number of people that have each skill. So, for instance, the highest you can ever get is 10 in any one, but you can't get 10 in all 3. You can get up to 3 skills can be impacted, and the highest split you can get is, what do I usually get? 10, 5, and 2, I believe is the highest split you can get. Or you can do a 7, 7, 5, I believe, if you balance them more evenly. But if you want a 10 in war, which I usually like to have either a 10 in war or a 10 in leadership, but especially in the early going with Liu Bei, when building up his war, a 10 in war is especially useful for duels and stuff like that when you're making friends. Because in order to get boon companions, a lot of times you'll be challenged to a duel, and you're not going to be able to become their sworn sibling. You're going to be challenged to a duel. You're not going to be able to become their sworn sibling unless you win the duel. My favorite sworn sibling to get is Zhang Liao, so I will be going after Zhang Liao at some point in this game, probably fairly early, so you get to see the interface and how you make a friend and how you get them to become your sworn sibling. Now, Zhang Liao is one of the hardest in the game to get. Your relationship with Zhang Liao moves up fairly slow, and he's very picky about the things he likes. He doesn't like alcohol, and he doesn't like most. The only thing he likes, in fact, is weapons. So weapons can be expensive gifts, and getting a bunch of them can be costly. Luckily, they did add a new feature in one of the updates that allows you to actually gain relationship with people just by chatting with them. They get to choose whether to accept your conversation or not. So, but that's nice, because before you had to pretty much give a gift or hold a banquet to get to increase your relationship. So, having the option to be able to speak to them to increase your relationship is really nice.
好，俺这就去。
So now, doing that, adding Zhang Fei as my comrade. Anytime you add someone as your comrade, it pulls them to your city, makes them stay at your city. So I just pulled one of my governors away from my other city, which means I should go post the governor to the other city. So you gotta go to your town hall to do that, your castle, whatever you want to call it, your assembly, your royal palace, assignments, assign governor. Oh man, I do not have many people. Let's see, I gotta assign my ministers first. He was not a good war minister at all. Guess Chengui is gonna have to do it. And domestic minister, definitely Mizu. Logistical focus is great. I edited that. That is not Mizu's actual expertise. That is not his actual governance stat either. I believe I increased that as well. So I made Mizu a little bit better, so that I could give Liu Bei at least one decent minister starting the game. So there you go, just so you know. Don't expect to start the game and have Mizu be a hardcore pimp like he is for me. Make Guan Yu my military minister, and Zhang Fei will be my governor. Here.
我收到了报告。
But that means I have absolutely no one who can fill the governor position on the other town. So the last thing I'm going to do in this video, I'll do one more thing in this video. I'll go ahead and save. Save for what I did just now. And the last thing I'm going to do in this video, before I end this one, and then I'll post some more in series. The last thing I'm going to do in this one is in this day, because I think right after I unpause this so that time passes, I think an event will occur. So get to see an event real quick. Boom, here we go. It's my Zhao Yun event that I mentioned before, because Zhao Yun is with Gongsun Zan right now. Of course, I have an event here where Zhao Yun and fellow Tiger General Huang Zhang is coming along and offering service to Liu Bei here. Zhao Yun, Lord Liu Bei, we have heard of your reputation, so we've come. I'm Huang Zhang, and my eager friend is Zhao Yun. We've come because we hear that you use all brave generals well. We are brave Tiger Generals. If by our life or death we may serve you, we will. So, fun little fun little event. Unfortunately, you can't get the computer, even though there is a voice for Liu Bei, even though there is a voice for Zhao Yun, even though there is a voice for Wang Zhang. You can't get them to read these words like they would on an actual computer event, which would be awesome if you could. Okay, so now really close to having all 5 tigers, and I do have a oops forgot to pause it. Okay, so you see that anytime you unpause it, there's a speed setting down here. Anytime you unpause it, time's moving. So it's not like other Romance of Three Kingdoms where you end your turn and then it passes a month or it passes 10 days. It's every day passes one at a time. You can change the speed as the days go by holding triangle and pushing on the D-pad across. 3 arrows get you a fast speed, 1 arrow gets you a slower speed. So if you want to pass time fast, you can do that. So okay, we've gone ahead and gotten Zhao Yun and Hong Zhong. Before we go, I'll just go in here and I'll assign governor and see if Zhao Yun or Hong Zhong is able. No, neither one have the necessary rank to be governor yet. So as they complete tasks, they'll go up in rank. Down here, you may have seen that it keeps saying people have proposals. So you can hit square, get down here, and you can hear what they want to do. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to deny them. Right now, I'm going to control them personally to get them to do the most efficient thing, not get them to suggest something that I don't want them to do. And we'll also talk about setting policies, which can give you bonuses and help you guys suggest the things you want them to accomplish. Right now, though, we're going to end this video, and then I'll be back with another one shortly as we do this playthrough. Alright?